The screaming ended at exactly 3:47 a.m. on October 13, 1982, yet the dogs of Harlan County howled without pause until the first light appeared on the ridges silence had never felt, so heavy it pressed down on the valleys like a blade slicing. Through the dark, cold air filled with dust-damp soil and the smell of old secrets, hidden deep inside forgotten hollows, what took place in those Kentucky mountains more than 30 years ago revealed how isolation can twist human bloodlines into shapes no longer recognizable, how entire communities can hide their eyes from truths they cannot face, rotting porch boards, creaked under weight rusted buckets, dripped with metallic water damp earth refused to dry. These were the daily textures of Copperhead Hollow, a scar carved between ridges, reachable only by a gravel road left unkept since the 60s mail arrived. Once or twice each week, when drivers remembered electricity finally reached the valley in 1974. Yet most homes still relied on kerosene lamps. Stubborn pride replaced convenience. The McCriedi settlement sat at the dead end of the hollow. Trailers leaned against one another. Sheds sprouted like fungus after rain. 3 generations shouted across yards. Patriarch Ezekiel, his 6 children, grandchildren, whose family lines blurred together. The tree of blood was no tree. It was a thorn bush tangled sharp, impossible to trace. Records showed 14 births between 1975 and 1982, 9 deaths recorded. Only questions remained about the rest. The first outsider who dared to look too closely was Margaret Finley, a county worker who tried to register children for school. Her report, dated September 5, 1981, described severe mental delays consistent with starvation, isolation, and absence of learning. Faces looked identical, although records called them cousins. Youngest ones shook in fear whenever unfamiliar adults approached her. Warning vanished. Her superior filed it away with the phrase mountain families have their ways. Ezekiel kept friends among local officers, men who once drank his whiskey during hungry winters. Silence was a mountain tradition. Some silences bought safety, others fed horror. While people above looked away, the hollow itself began to change. Hunters whispered that deer and bears avoided paths crossing the compound. Creeks turned thick and cloudy. Soil samples showed nothing that matched the local ground. At night, wind carried noises no man recognized. Shrieks, hums, pounding echoes too strange to belong to animals. Something unnatural grew inside the dark. By summer 1982, younger McCriedi children never stepped beyond the line of trees. Older ones traded jars of clear liquid or animal pelts for salt sugar bullets. Their eyes never lifted to meet clerks. They moved with silence, taught through fear. One question gnawed at nearby townspeople. What would you do if you knew that something unspeakable might be happening 5 miles from your home, but believed that asking too many questions could make you the next victim? The answer came when Deputy Michael Torres responded to reports of gunfire on that October night. Mountain roads twisted under his tires. Backup sat 40 minutes away. Darkness spread across the ridges. His headlights caught sagging structures, porches, broken roofs, collapsing shadows. Moved within his being before he stepped out. The smell struck him. Decay blended with wood smoke and something sweeter, foul enough to churn his stomach. This was not hunger. This was something hiding behind poverty's mask. Torres had seen rough mountain families, but this was different. What he found that night filled police files for decades, whispered between old officers, forbidden to rookies. Gravel cracked beneath his boots. Light swept over trailers. One bent in the middle like a broken spine. Movement darted behind curtains. Air stung like copper. 3 figures crept from behind a rusted pickup. Children, ages impossible to judge. Faces, thin eyes, sharp. Perhaps 8, perhaps 18. Their bodies stunted by lack of food and something stranger. Clothes hung in shreds. Eyes glimmered with animal focus, watching, waiting, hunting the tallest girl. Hair tangled, dirty, once maybe blonde, her accent so thick. He strained to follow words. You're not supposed to be here. After dark, granddaddy hates strangers, she said with authority, far older than her years. Torres introduced himself, answered protocol, explained that he came for gunfire reports. Children glanced at each other, eyes speaking more than lips. The girl tilted her chin toward the largest trailer-torn curtains. Leaking faint light sounds of a meal drifted through clinking forks' voices, laughing, the kind of dinner that should comfort, but here felt wrong. His radio cracked. Unit 7 status report. Protocol demanded backup, but distance demanded delay. The children waited patient as predators watch and pray for first mistake. Torres knocked. Silence fell inside. No fork, no laugh, only footsteps. Slow, heavy door creaked. Ezekiel McCriedi appeared, a face hardened into stone. Long years had carved it. Cruel smile, spread teeth sharpened into points. Filed unnaturally. Evening deputy late for visiting. Aided light behind him revealed a long table, plates, steaming food piled high, yet proportions looked wrong. Shadows stretched oddly. Family seated still as statues. Forks frozen. Half-raised eyes tracked every movement. Predator eyes. Too many bodies to count. At least 7 adults, maybe a dozen children. Shapes blurred as if melting into each other. Safety deputy asked, almost whispering, hand near weapon, making sure all is well. Ezekiel's grin widened. Light gleamed on pointed teeth. Safe as houses, he replied, just night hunting. Mountains hold things that walk only after sunset. Smoke words hung like curse the badge carried. Little weight against hunger. Eyes hunger that stretched beyond deer or rabbits. This was something old, something fed for generations. Torres stepped back. Gaze flickered toward the yard and froze. A small bicycle half buried in dirt, its purple frame silver streamers still fluttering. Wheels turning in the mountain wind. He knew it immediately. Flyers plastered across counties showed that bike. Amy Chun, 7 years old, vanished from a campsite 6 months earlier. The discovery turned suspicion into nightmare. The compound was tied to missing children for decades. Torres photographed trembling hands. Light bounced off streamers like beckoning fingers. Police files later traced 23 children gone between 1964 and 1982. Families told by rangers that mountains swallow bodies, rivers bury them. Searchers failed to recover remains. Explanations pinned to wilderness dangers. But Torres realized some had never been lost. They had been found back inside the car. Radio sputtered with static. Shadows circled. Glass reflections showed shapes closing in. McCriedi children surrounded the vehicle. Precision like pack hunters moving quiet. Coordinated eyes glowed in dashboard light. Sharp teeth filed. Same as Ezekiel. The eldest girl pressed her face to glass, whispered silent words mouthed not spoken. His pulse pounded. Message was clear. You will not leave this hollow tonight. Radio dead. Static only. Backup. Unreachable. Hands shook, weapon drawn, yet aim faltered. How can one fire at children, even if those children were shaped into predators' nails? Sharpened eyes glowing. Innocence, stolen innocence, never real memory. From Academy returned tales of 16th century Scotland, the Sawney Bean clan, families of cannibals who stalked travelers. His instructors had called it history lesson. Curiosity artifact, not reality, but truth returned alive inside these hills. Torres's patrol car rocked gently at first, then harder. Children pushed rhythm building. Rocking metal frame shook. Their laughter echoed, not childish joy but cruel. Hunt their game was death. Voices rose, song drifted. Soft thick accent, lullaby, sweet haunting beauty. Impossible. From human throats sound carried weight of comfort, promised safety, warmth, love, imitation of motherly care. His eyes grew heavy. Despite fear, drowsiness spread. Adrenaline could not resist the song. Explanation pierced his mind. This was the tool they used to lure camping children away. Melody, not threat but invitation. How does one fight when predators sing like parents? The glow of torches appeared beyond tree line. Not flashlights, flames swayed like wandering stars. Adult figures approached, coordinated. Circle tightening. Ezekiel led the way. Rifle modified barrel, carved with symbols that seemed alive. Torchlight painted his filed teeth. Shadows danced behind him. An older woman followed. Tall, gaunt, gray hair braided with bones. Stride, confident voice whispered outside the window from the eldest girl. It is Granny. McCriedi, she teaches us the old ways. The Hungry Way's engine failed when he tried keys turning sound mocking like laughter. Children stepped back past, finished they had disabled his. Car without touch, while voices distracted tunnels under property, would later be. Discovered pits covered snare traps networks, hidden like veins across earth entire. Ground shaped into hunting ground for one type of prey, humans above torches circled. Headlights, children vanished, melted into dark, leaving only torchbearers. Granny raised skeletal hand, her voice carried clear across hollow. Been long time since. We had lawman last one back in '68, a trooper too curious about hiker's Danny. Kellerman fought real good, took 3 boys to bring him down. She said words like praise, her eyes fixed on. Torres evaluating meat with hunger. You look softer, maybe tastier than him. Recognition slammed into his mind. Kellerman, a case studied in. Academy car found doors open, radio alive, yet unanswered, listed missing, presumed victim of accident. Truth buried under reports. Now truth breathed before him. Tradition not broken, but thriving. How can civilization reach places that follow older laws? Laws of hunger, not justice. Torch circle closed patient. Deliberate predators let prey waste strength before finishing strike. Torres' new choice could not remain within car waiting gift. Wrapped he burst door, rolled into dark ground uneven. Strange soil, soft in spots, hard in others, soon revealed why foot broke through camouflage. Tunnel mouth, hidden earth, reinforced with stolen wood metal sheets. Underground maze stretched under compound light, from fading flashlight showed chambers. Crude cells, vents, side rooms, bones, rust tools. Each corner evidence of long predation. Later experts counted at least 37 remains, preserved by strange methods. But Torres had no clinical words, only terror scratches on walls, names, dates. Carved by tiny hands, ledger of innocence, lost one line, frozen. My name is Tommy Walsh. Today is my birthday. I am 8. If someone finds this, tell my parents. I love them, and I'm sorry. I followed the singing lady. Date 1979. Case remembered from training. Family had spent savings searching son, never knowing his last message hid. Underground footsteps thudded above voices, argued about smoke, about unleashing young ones. Then sounds shifted, no dogs, no animals. Instead, laughter high-pitched. Hungry, the McCriedi children released into tunnels, whistles, clicks, guiding their hunt-like language. Half-human, half-beast, scraping hands, claws moved across. Dirt skin crawled, instinct screamed that evolution had shaped predators here beyond law, beyond morality. Torres pressed himself against damp walls inside tunnels. Breath-tight ears, straining shapes, moved like whispers. Crawling, scuttling, coordination beyond children games. These were predators born to hunt, eyes adapted to dark, hearing sharper than hounds. Voices clicked, whispered, giggled, echoing through maze. Like notes of death, one older voice commanded, steady with authority, perhaps 14 yet. Carrying tone of commander deputy, smells afraid, thick like syrup heart, thumps loud as drum can. Hear him from here. Do not let him run. Another younger voice announced. Blood trail found, rocks cut his hand. He moves toward old rooms. Words casual like playing tag, yet stakes were life and death. Torres staggered deeper tunnels, twisted like veins. Side chambers revealed horrors, hooks, metal grinders, barrels of salt knives, lined with care drawings sketched on walls, showing dismemberment techniques, annotated with notes, as if butchery was family heritage. What kind of family teaches such lessons? To children, scratches on wood, listed names, more than 20 years of victims' dates, marked small shoes lying on shelves, toys arranged with cruel precision, innocence catalogued as if livestock. Torres' blood froze, children voices grew near their fa. Strategy clear, heard him toward meat rooms, decide kill or capture. Laughter like bells filled passages. Their joy felt wrong. They chased as if hide and seek, transformed into slaughter. Yet suddenly voices shifted, sharp alarm. Oldest girl shouted big. People are coming, we must get upstairs. Engines roared above wheels, crunching officers, shouted radios, buzzed lights, strobed across trees. Backup arrived cavalry at last. Kentucky State Police cruisers, federal vehicles, agents poured out, lights cutting. Night into shards, Torres crawled from tunnel, caked in soil, blood-shaking voice, screaming about underground prisons. Children clothes walls, etched with names, what he had seen, twisted sanity. Tactical units stormed compound, torches replaced by tactical. Lamps, beams cut through trailers, revealing kitchens designed not for family meals, but for processing meat, industrial grinders, freezers humming. Electricity stolen from county lines, evidence of appetite stacked in plain sight in hidden rooms. Investigators found belongings of missing children, photographs, journals, drawings, records, meticulous as research notes showing each victim. Age, size, taste preserved like data. Cannibalism turned into science. Every new room, deeper horror, not random violence, but generational craft. Yet greatest challenge was children, dozens ranging from 5 to 17, conditioned beyond recognition. Some resisted, violently attacking officers with pack. Coordination, bites, scratches, claws, sharpened ferocity of wild predators. Defending family psychologists later wrote, they were bonded through trauma, feral, yet attached to captors. Unable to grasp why raid occurred, their entire reality shattered. Granny McCriedi cornered inside. Main trailer showed no guilt, no shame statement. Captured by agents October 14, 1982. Her voice calm, like teaching class, hunting deer or rabbits. Makes no difference, world has too many mouths. We only do what nature intended. Strong feeding, weak words. Recorded, chilled every ear. 3 warehouses filled with confiscated evidence, trophies, manuals, photographs, drawings, preservation experiments. Records of hunting passed down like inheritance. Training books, crude yet detailed teaching songs. Stories, rituals, children raised with lessons that human flesh was food. The investigation revealed network broader than single hollow. Operation Harvest Moon connected disappearances across 3 states, patterns too similar to dismiss. Children gone from camps, hikers, vanished tourists, lost all. Within isolated mountain zones, agents realized McCriedi's only one branch, bigger system operated silently. Federal operation named Mountain Sweep launched November 15, 1982. 4 in the morning, 17 locations raided across Appalachia. Largest coordinated mountain action in history. Results shocked even hardened investigators. Compounds discovered in West Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina. Each site bearing tunnels, freezers, records. Evidence of hunts not decades, but more than century old. Families had passed tradition, like farming. More than 200 individuals, traced through genealogy, connected by marriage, blood, shared knowledge. Children rescued from sites presented new crisis. Many never saw electricity. Plumbing school, some spoke dialects mixed with archaic English, unrecognizable language, all raised to hunt humans. Psychologists describe them as unique case study, complete conditioning outside. Normal morality, strong attachment to killers, unable to distinguish right from wrong. Society asked what to do with children raised to see prey in every stranger. Ezekiel, during interrogation, spoke with confusion. He believed nothing unusual existed about life in Hollow. Claimed grandfather taught him lessons learned from ancestors across ocean. Research later revealed Scottish and Irish families during harsh centuries survived with similar predation practices. Culture carried through immigration, isolation preserved it. Hunger inherited as tradition. Granny, when asked, explained with chilling honesty, you act like we made something new. People have been eating people since beginning. We only admit truth, at least. We do not pretend to be civilized, as we eat words etched into records, haunting proof that for some, morality never existed. Trials stretched 3 years, 47 convictions. Murder, kidnapping, federal violations, yet questions remained about scale. Evidence suggested hundreds of death songs passed down, teaching children to lure victim stories. Praising hunts, rituals, dividing them from outside world. Networks used codes, secret messages posted in newspapers, rural post offices. CB radios. Warnings spread fast, whenever raids neared McCriedi discovery, was spark that revealed iceberg tip deeper. Larger hidden families, scattered mountain ridges systems survived by moving between territories. Feudal like lords carving hunting grounds, some targeted campers. Others hitchhikers, some hikers along Appalachian Trail, each adapted yet shared core. Method lure isolated kill-hide evidence victims, often drifters, runaways, tourists, ensuring no quick investigation officials. Realized society had ignored patterns. Too long. Federal raids recovered 47 minors, many violent, feral, confused some. Attacked officers, biting, clawing, scratching like animals, unfamiliar with other ways, some infants too young to know anything else. Authorities debated rehabilitation, but experts warned conditioning too deep, some could never adjust again. Families. Burned compounds, evidence destroyed, yet legends spread. Locals claimed smoke still rose from Copperhead Hollow. Nights after fires, as if hunger itself could not be extinguished. Torres retired 2 years. Later fled. Mountains moved to Florida. Curtains. Closed windows, dark, never answered doors after sunset, haunted by bicycle streamers, haunted by lullaby, haunted by scratches that read, "I love you, mother, father, sorry." I followed singing lady. His neighbors saw broken man, never free from hollow questions. Linger. What happens when isolation replaces morality? What grows when poverty, tradition, and hunger combine into religion? How many families still out there? Untouched, unrated, unseen. Some rangers claim empty campsites, discovered tents abandoned. Fires left. Burning silence. Heavy dread, watching eyes from tree lines. Whispers say predators still roam, patient waiting. Tradition never dies, investigators admitted. Mountain sweep ended network, but suspected others continued further, hidden deeper. Isolated legacy carried on like disease. Final recorded arrest came in 1985. Sarah Buchanan captured while preparing new hunting ground near New River. Gorge. Her fall marked official end, yet unofficial questions refused to fade. Federal reports closed. But whispers lived. Hikers vanished without trace. Empty cabins, discovered tunnels without purpose carved into hills. What hides there? What waits there? Perhaps future will reveal more. Perhaps some horrors rooted so deep, no flame, no law, no raid can end them. The hollow burned December 1982, yet locals swore smoke never ceased. Appetites, unsatisfied fire without end. Official records declared closure, but truth remained open. Some families may still sing lullabies across mountains, still beckon. Children with voices sweet as safety still carve names into walls when the world looks away. And if such shadows remain, then every tent in remote valleys carries risk. Every trail may cross with eyes sharpened and dark. Every sound of song may not come from human heart. We are only scratching surface. The next story descends even deeper, darker, older. Subscribe before it arrives.